Yo, GK Nation.
GPS. The Grown Folks
Yo, what's up?
Podcast.
Oh my God. Welcome to the podcast.
An extension of the Grown Folks Kids Show. Introducing the host with the most.
The Great Gun. Keeping it kid.
This is going to be fun. Because I'm Batman.
Yo, what is up? How's it going? How's it hanging?
What is going down?
Man.
What is going down?
Man, we should have a good show here today.
Always have a good show.
Oh, man, it's going to be good, man. I'm excited. I'm feeling good. Hey, welcome to the Grown Folks Kids Shows.
GPS.
And let us
navigate you through our mind.
Because it is a wonderful place to be.
It is.
All right. Hey, today we're going to do some wrestling talk today. Okay, we're going to up the wrestling talk because there's so much going on in wrestling right now. Like, it is so much going on in wrestling. I don't think we can spend 2 hours right now talking about wrestling because there's so much going on. This is a good time to be a wrestling fan. I mean, we're going back to a new golden age of wrestling, which is upon us. Hopefully, it depends what happens truthfully, it depends what happens with WWE.
Oh, here we go. Man, I tell you, you didn't flip-flop in the middle of the week.
No, I'm just saying.
No, you flip-flop.
And I'll explain why I say that. It does depend. But remember, you can catch us on all your platforms. Spotify, Spreaker, Podbean, iTunes.
Just go to a podcast.
iHeart, right? Just find whatever platform you use. Like I said, I'll dig out some more because there's new ones popping up all the time. Okay? And we'll use those when that time comes. But right now, hey, listen to, also go to GrownFolksKidsShow.com. All right? So that way you can navigate on what we do. You can see our TV show that we have on YouTube. If you're local here in the Spokane, Washington area, Hooptown, USA, that's what we call ourselves because we have nothing but basketball hoops, largest tournament in the world. If you come over here, you'll catch us on Channel 14 on CMTV. And we have our own podcast called GPS.
That's correct.
So, here we go. We're in GPS. So let's navigate through all this craziness that's happening in wrestling right now. Now, what I mean by that, we are upon a new golden age. It's not, listen, it's not a rule that says there's only one golden age allowed, okay? Basketball will go through a couple. Football will go through a couple. All sports go through a couple golden ages. They happen about 20, 30, 40 years in between, but there's multiple golden ages.
Just moving it along. Moving it along.
And we're upon a new golden age. It's like, I compare it to waves, man. At some point the waves are high, and then the waves go low, then the waves go back to high. That's how things naturally in this life. So we are upon a new golden age of wrestling. That's what the first topic is are we upon a golden age of wrestling with AEW being as big as it is within a few years? Impact is now doing okay, but they exist, right? They've been held on to the alternative ship by themselves for a long time, okay? And they still around. New Japan is bigger than ever. We got wrestling right now. People don't want to admit this. People right now, listen, New Japan.
What aren't they trying to admit?
Well, listen, New Japan has their claws on every aspect of wrestling right now. What New Japan did in the last decade has influenced wrestling quite a bit to where we are today, in both in WWE and AEW and in Impact and in our ROH. Okay? So, and you speaking of ROH, you got that, you got NWA. We're in a good time of wrestling. Right?
I agree.
Similar to your locals, your regionals are doing good, your locals are doing good. It kind of feels like the 80s were a little bit more, right?
But not like the 90s.
90s. Yeah, I'll say 90s, right?
The 80s, it wasn't as good as we remember it. I go back and look at some of those shows, and I'd be like, you really watched this?
Well, let me ask you a question. Are we upon our, pretty much, man, are we at the doorstep of a new golden age of wrestling?
I don't know yet. If we want to say the golden age of wrestling was... No, but I'm saying, what did you consider the golden age of wrestling?
Well, we could create our own criteria right now.
No.
Oh.
What did you consider the golden age of wrestling before you made that statement today?
Well, I personally said we've been in a wrestling drought where wrestling became boring.
I don't want to know all of that. That's not what I want to ask. I want to know what was the golden age of wrestling. Okay, but what
television
era?
Ratings, networks competing.
No, what was the era of wrestling? I want to know what era of wrestling. You're hitting me with all this new fan stuff. No, what era of wrestling was the golden age?
That's a different question. You tell me. You ask me what I consider
the golden age. Right. So what era?
Okay, then that's the case. I'll tell you.
You know, what do I consider what was the golden age? Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Okay.
I would say personally for me, and then I would say probably for the masses. I'll say with me first. I'll start in the mid-'80s, where the ice cream bars, the television shows, the movies, the cartoons brought wrestling into the mainstream. The Hogan era, right?
Okay.
I'll start there, and I will end the minute WCW went down. So I'll say mid-'80s to 99.
Okay,
15
so
years.
that was your golden era.
The golden era of wrestling, 85 to 2000.
Okay, so that was the golden era.
I take that back.
You got to be a little sooner than 85. So you want to say the first WrestleMania?
No. Well, I'll say
the golden era, the first WrestleMania.
I'll say about 85, 84-ish to mid-2000s. Those 20 years, because you can't. I say wrestling died when the Attitude Era died. I mean, Ruthless Aggression Era. I'm going up to Ruthless Aggression Era. I say those 20 years. 85 to 2005. 7-ish. All right, what do you say?
You say 85.
I said mid-'80s to mid-2000s. We'll just say that. You want to range 83 to 86, 2004 to 2007. So let's say mid-'80s to mid-2000s. There you go.
Just say the 80. Don't say mid, because if 83, that's the earlies.
Not all of the 80s were good. Not all the 2000s were good. I said from the mid-'80s to the 2000s.
No, an era is a span of time, not pockets of time. So if you go from the 80s to 2000s, you're going to have bad parts in the good parts. But it's still good parts.
That is okay to say mid-'80s and mid-2000s. That goes right when Hogan was really kicking off with ice cream bars, WrestleMania.
Ice cream bars came in 83.
Okay, there you go. And cartoons.
That's early 80s.
Okay, 83, 84. Okay, fine. And then up to the Ruthless Aggression started dying off about 2007, 2009.
Okay, so that's a big pocket.
All right, 80s to
mid.
Okay,
so I can get with that, because you got the WWF becoming the WWF. You got AWA still in a prominent position.
Yeah.
You got NWA still in a prominent position, where the NWA, the AWA, the WCCW,
right,
and Jim Crockett Promotions, the Texas, all of those small market areas were conglomerate under the NWA.
Right.
That's a golden era. WCW comes in, pushes the NWA out of the way. They become the WCW.
We did say.
No. I'm just saying this is what congealed our golden era.
Right.
And so the big
Kurt Hennig, Ric Flair,
the big
Jerry Lawler.
The big thing about the golden era was multiple wrestling companies to watch.
Right. Multiple wrestling companies on mainstream.
It doesn't even have to be mainstream, but you can watch them.
You can watch
them. So it don't have to be mainstream. If you wanted to go fine.
I remember watching Kurt Hennig, Jerry Lawler matches, then flipping it over to Ric Flair, okay, and then flipping it over to WWE.
Right.
Those are the big three.
Okay,
right?
So, but here's the thing.
And then now we got that going again. It's not one versus the other so much.
Right.
But it is, but there's more involved now.
Well, no, fans are just smarter now. We know.
And we're smarter.
Vince McMahon pulled the curtain back. So now we know things that we didn't know back then. So, but not everybody got to see all of that.
All right.
But they still had the golden era because your champions went from town to town to be on TV.
Right.
You know?
Right. And then the 90s, you have to include the 90s because that's when...
Well, you said from 80 to 2000.
Right. And then the 90s, the only part I'm kind of like, okay, do we add the ruthless aggression in or not? Some will say no, some will say yes. I would say yes because your modern Hollywood stars and your biggest wrestlers that we have today as seen as Hall of Famers, modern Hall of Famers came from that era. I think they put out the most Hall of Fame wrestlers in the ruthless aggression and attitude because they bled into each other. The ruthless aggression and attitude era bled into each other. So I take that chunk of pocket and I can't exclude them because your biggest stars today came from that era, right? Because TNA's big stars, with the exception of Samoa Joe and AJ Styles and them, right? Mm-hmm. But your big stars that were in there were from the WWE. And so you're talking about Kurt Angle, Bob Lashley, we can just go down John Cena, Batista's, all of it, right?
Booker T,
all of them. Everything. That came from that. So you have to include, and that was a golden age, right? Because I think that the Attitude Era is at the ratings height. As far high as it can go.
Well, people didn't care about ratings until then. Eric Bischoff made you care about ratings. He's the one that brought ratings on TV.
Ratings always matter.
But we didn't know anything about ratings.
That's not about us. I'm just telling you.
No.
It's about the corporations.
But we're not corporations. We're fans.
You got to add all of it together.
No, we don't.
All right, okay.
We use that to say what company is the best now for argument's sake.
Okay.
That's what we do. But beforehand...
I agree with you on that.
Beforehand, before Eric Bischoff said something about rating, you would flip back and forth to whatever you wanted to watch. There was a boring match, you'd flip over to WWE. Right. You flip over to WCW. Right. But you didn't care.
Because it did come down to two. It started off with a handful and went down to two.
Right.
Okay. So now let me ask you this question.
Okay.
And WWE won the first major war. I compare it to World War I and World War II. Okay.
Okay. All
right. So WWE won World War I. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, in a just like World War I to World War II, there's a small gap between the two wars. Okay. Some of the same players. Okay. And now we're getting close to another war. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, we are. We're just admit it. Okay. But it's a different war. Now you got WWE and its own, I would say, its own internal network. Even they're spread into territories. They got their off branches, UK, and all these things. Mm-hmm. It is still primary WWE. And then but they have alliances. They got their small alliances that they can control. And then you have AEW and their network of alliances because AEW's teamed up with another major brand of New Japan. So they're pretty tag teaming against WWE. They're bringing along the side of Impact, AAA, with ROH being Switzerland right now. Okay, so they may lean a little more WWE, but right now they're Switzerland. Okay, all right. So, do you consider this a new golden age? Are we upon it, or is it wait and see?
I believe it's a wait.
Why?
Because right now, all we really have is AEW and WWE.
Really?
That's what we really have. I mean, Impact's there, but is Impact really giving us any impact? Come on, let's be honest. You get excited for Impact when you know someone's coming over. The Impact champion is an AEW contract signee.
2 in a row.
Yeah, both, their biggest stars were squashed. There was no thought process that they were going to lose in any of these matches. And then the AEW...
Moose, step up!
2 AEW wrestlers fought for Impact Championship. It wasn't AEW versus Impact. It was 2 AEW fought for the Impact Championship.
Hey, listen, I like that Edwards dude, Eddie Edwards. He all right.
But
All right.
he's not the champ.
Sammy Callahan.
He's not the champ.
He all right.
Who's their face of the company?
That's the problem. Is technically it's Moose.
Moose ain't. When's the last time Moose been on TV?
But the problem is that I don't get it. Can you explain what's going on with Moose to me? Like, do you want it or do you not want it?
All I'm saying.
Do you want the big spotlight? Do you not want it?
I don't think it's Moose that doesn't want the spotlight.
What is it?
He came at Kenny. You tell me.
Where's he at?
You tell me.
Why is he not appearing on AEW?
The Booker who won the Booker of the Year, where's he at? He won Booker of the Year. Where is he at? Where is the, what do they call it? The Forbidden Door? Right. Why is the Forbidden Door closed on all the black superstars?
Well, nah, hold on now. Wait a minute. What are you talking about now?
Man, I don't see. I'm just
saying.
What
are you talking about now?
You got
3 black champions in the last, 2 of them in the last, what?
In WWE?
What are you talking about on?
The Forbidden Door. Who's the Forbidden Door?
Who?
Tony Khan's the Forbidden Door. He won Booker of the Year.
Yeah.
So why isn't he booking Moose to wrestle for the championship? Don't say. I don't want to hear it.
I don't think it's a black wrestler thing.
I'm just saying.
That's more your opinion on that one. Because,
it can be my opinion. But what happened?
They made it pretty clear that they
squashed
inclusive company that wrestles all variety of brands. They got transgender athletes, man. Dude, black ones. So they got black.
When's the last time you seen her on TV?
What?
When's the last time you seen her on TV? Or him, or whatever you want to call him. When's the last time you on TV?
A couple months, but he was on.
Okay, a couple months. When's the last time Moose was on any? Moose has never stepped foot in AEW.
That's where we don't know what's going on in the back end of negotiations.
You're right.
Okay,
but I know one thing. AEW has all their champions.
Line here, guys. Don't worry about it.
Ain't nobody keeping me in line.
Don't worry about it.
We're not moving the goalpost today.
Oh my gosh. Tony Khan is not
I didn't say.
Black athlete.
Look. I know it. I said I didn't say it was, but
the problem is
it looks that way.
No, it don't look that. Not yet. Not yet. They've only been around a couple years.
No, I get that.
All right, so 10 years from now, they don't have a black champion. We got problems. 7 years from now.
Well, it's almost at the point where you ain't got another choice.
Shoot, WWE spent 40 years before we got to that point.
And we had been sounding off
so
all the time. There was never not a sound.
Honestly, who in AEW or in Impact outside of Moose, because this might be a Moose day, who can actually be the top of the company?
I don't watch Impact enough.
Okay, AEW.
AEW has how many?
It's only Moose and Impact, so we already know that.
Well, Moose and
Rich Swann cannot be on top.
Well, no, I'm just saying Moose, Rich Swann. What's that the other black dude that was wrestling Rich Swann? He was pretty good. I forgot his name. He looked like a Junkyard Dog, a version of Junkyard Dog.
Yeah, no, I know you're
talking about. He moves good. He's pretty big.
Yeah, he's all right, but he can't be the face of the company.
Why can't he be the face of Impact? Impact is new. It's not new, but
because Impact is trying to become top player. You can't. If you want to be top player, you're gonna have to use top guys. So here's my thing.
Why don't you use your own top?
The only thing I'm saying is, yes, we are upon a era.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And I'll go back to my point about the black champion type. For AEW, there's no one there yet. They got to build a few of those guys up. I think the closest you have in AEW is Scorpio Sky, but he has horrible promo skills. He's very corny.
Put a what's his name with him?
What? He's fine now. He's got a mouthpiece now. Okay, so we'll see. But they're building them up.
Make up your mind. Either he can or he can't.
As a tag team, we'll see. Wrestling in the ring, yes, maybe he can hang in the ring. But you got this more than being able to just wrestle good in the ring. Today, you got to entertain a very hard crowd to entertain in wrestling, and so you got to be able to hold that mic. Like when CM Punk come over,
CM Punk ain't champ. He ain't gonna be champ.
CM Punk,
Kenny Omega's the champ, and he ain't good on the mic.
Listen to me. No, he's good enough on the mic.
He is not good enough on the mic.
He's pretty good now.
No, he's good enough because he's standing next to Don Callis.
All right. He's gotten way better on the microphone. But here's the thing, okay? CM Punk come over and Daniel Bryan come over, Bryan Danielson come over. Automatically, you could just tell the big difference of working with the crowd. That's the benefit of them being there. Okay. I'm kind of leading into the second question.
Why did those two make? I mean, you had Christian there already.
Wait, hold on. Before I go to that part, let me finish the first question. Yes, we're upon a golden era. Okay.
I don't think so.
We're upon a golden era. We're walking into it because you have competition. There's competition. There's now one hamburger joint, McDonald's, and there's no such thing as anything else. Now you have Burger King, you have Jack in the Box, you have all kinds of different joints. Okay, so now there's competition, right? And there's more competition on TV for people to view, and there's more dollars being spent into wrestling. Okay, because now we're going back to corporate wars with wrestling. We are entering a new golden age of wrestling. Now, saying that, I'll just go leads to my second question. Okay?
Yeah.
All right? It leads to my second question. With AEW bringing all these WWE guys in, okay, that's what they are, even though the guys they brought in were originally pure indie guys.
Okay.
That went to WWE, made a name for themselves, but they was always indie at heart. Like they never lost that smell, that backyard smell.
Not all of them. Come on, man.
Oh, well, we'll see. We'll see when you. I'll let you expound on that here in a second. Okay. All right. Not all of them, maybe. Okay. We'll go through it. You can already see the difference bringing those guys in. The level of, because like we said, to push ratings. Would you agree or not agree? Today's crowd is harder to entertain and to please than yesterday's crowd, than the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah.
Way harder.
Yeah.
For all combat and wrestling and entertainment, sports. Everything.
Yeah.
We're just a different group of people nowadays.
Well, it's
right?
not, I'm not going to say
cynical
we.
Group of people
not
now.
We. The generations have their attention spans.
Very short.
Their
super short.
Their ability to grasp older idioms. Right. Certain things don't move them like they move us.
Exactly. Which that's why I personally like AEW, because they're able to tell the story but make it entertaining enough that they can keep the attention and we can actually grasp the story, because it is hard to tell a story because people are very impatient right now, right?
Well, they either they want a story or they want it to hurry up and be over with.
Right. And so AEW is kind of mastering that now. We'll see how long they can hold on to this formula. But here's what I'm saying. You already see the big difference on the mic skills and the entertainment and working with the crowd. I mean, God, CM Punk really can work. He owns his crowd. There's only a small handful of people that can do what he do that came along in wrestling. The Rocks, the Stone Colds, the Hogan. CM Punk is in that when it comes to wrestler relationship with the crowd. Now, Bryan Danielson, same thing, okay? Christian used to have it. You kind of do. But the thing is, you see the big difference, right? Is this a problem, though? Because that's a good thing for AEW. But the bad thing is it possibly a bad thing? Is it going to be a bad thing for people like Orange Cassidy?
I'm gonna ask you a question.
What's up?
It'll answer your question. Outside of MJF,
I already know where you're going.
Who can stand across the ring on a microphone against any of those guys and go by themselves? Outside of MJF, that hasn't walked in a WWE ring.
Who can stand toe-to-toe on a microphone?
Who can be on the microphone and with CM Punk, with Daniel Bryan, with Cody Rhodes, with Chris Jericho, with anybody who's come from the WWE format of promo.
Right.
Outside of MJF,
right?
Who can stand across the ring and you can actually say, oh man, they're giving a good promo and they're not being carried or being used and abused by the other guy?
Let's go down the list.
You ain't got to go down the list. You know what the answer is.
Hold on, man. I'm trying to. Come on, man. Come on. Hold
you know
on,
what the answer is.
I'm trying to help him out a little bit.
Okay.
Hey, hold on.
I come with the hard questions.
Not the boy. That's called reckoning questions. MJF.
That's it.
Wait, hold on. I got another one. MJF. Hey, listen.
Dylon, and Dylon.
And that's why Carter was like, please bring these guys over. Because the only way we're going to compete, we beat Raw 2 weeks in a row. Okay? Just came out again. That's not sustainable.
Are you really saying they're beating them?
Oh, yes. A key demographic. So here's the thing.
But they're not going head to head.
Here's the thing. That is not sustainable because they don't have. Then the only reason why that's happening is because of those guys who came over. But in order to cut the fat and stand on your own 2 legs, is we got to get those guys mic skills and able to hold a crowd skills and not be 100% focused on what you do in the ring. Mm-hmm. Okay, the Chris Benoit is one of the greatest type of wrestlers in the ring. Mm-hmm. Okay. But his mic skills weren't the greatest.
Nope.
So there was
But he can hold you.
He can hold enough.
Yeah.
His mic skills was just enough to hold a conversation with the crowd.
You ain't even got that many.
Right. So he was kind of limited.
Right.
So Batista didn't have the greatest mic skills at first. He became the man after a while. Mm-hmm. Okay. So same thing with Roman Reigns.
But you know the difference was?
They
got promo play. They had guys in there that says, okay, this is what, as much as you want to hate about the script that Vince McMahon gave them, he made these guys second tier actors. They're not world-class actors. Now you got some that get up there, but they're second tier B-movie actors.
So when the career is done, they can easily go walk into Hollywood without even...
The mouthpiece is decent.
Phase, right?
Yeah.
You bring The Miz over, he'll destroy everybody over at AEW,
The Miz and MJF would...
Oh my gosh!
Kill.
Can you imagine that?
I wouldn't even have to watch the wrestling match. To be honest, I would actually not watch WWE.
And that's the thing, people, is yes, we're excited. I'm gonna tell you why.
No, you're excited.
No, wrestling fans are excited.
Oh, okay.
Is why AEW exists. We're excited how they came up, how they from nothing to something. All that's fun. Way better product in the rings. Not even close. Okay. Storytelling way better than that, right? But here's the thing. That's not all that's going to keep you on top. You're on top right now for a quick second. That's going to happen. You're going to have times you're on top for a second. Flavor of the month. Okay. That's what you're saying. How do you sustain? How do you sustain is you got to entertain the hardest entertaining fans that wrestling generation, that wrestling has ever had. We're the hardest fan base. This generation of fans is the hardest to entertain.
I agree.
They want to see fun. They want to see excitement. It's social media. It's information right off the gate. They want to see people flying around, doing all the cool stuff, be innovative, not the same boring shtick stuff. But what comes part of that, like we said in the music business, yeah, you can rap. You might be able to produce beats and make rap. You might be able to create your own artwork and all that. That's still only like 10% of the business. The 90% is the business part, right? How do you sustain the momentum? How do you keep it? You got to get these guys to the place where they can hold themselves up on the microphone and not worry about getting in trouble for saying the wrong things every few minutes.
What JR used to say, talk them into the seats.
Talk them into the seats. Now, I like the part where they are focused on entertaining and getting people the matches they want. Check mark. Entertaining in the ring. Way check mark. Okay? World-class athletes doing world-class things. But this is only, like you said, to show you, I'm not all AEW. It's only a flavor of the month. Because if you can't get these people into the story with your mouth, then what's going to happen?
The same thing that happened to TNA. You have a whole bunch of Vinceisms running around your company, and then sooner or later, the guys that were building your company go somewhere else, and then they circle back, and you know where they're at? They're on WrestleMania main eventing. Yep. And they won't talk bad about your company. They're just going to win the title.
So this is what I'm saying. Is it bad for people like... let's say this. What would you say? Who said they need to step up now? These, because he didn't bring just any old WWE guys over. Like, I still ain't seen Big Man, Braun Strowman, or stuff like that. They brought workhorses that can make you look good in the ring. Like, they brought measuring sticks. Like,
and that's gonna
CM Punk is going to.
That's gonna make or break you because if your guys
explain that.
Well, because if you're bringing the measuring stick of I think that not WWE
wrestling.
The measuring stick of wrestling, as much as people want to hate it, is Randy Orton.
He took over Undertaker's spot.
He's
the new Undertaker.
He's got the perfect build.
Yep.
He can talk you in and out of the ring. He can wrestle with anyone.
Hold, let me cut you off. I'm gonna cut you off.
Okay.
You talking. You over-explain. It's very simple. Will you wrestle Randy Orton? We'll see if you got all of it.
Yeah.
We'll see if you can wrestle.
If Randy's don't get bored with you.
No.
That's how you know.
I'm gonna just keep it simple. When you wrestle Randy Orton, like the Undertaker, let's see if you can actually wrestle.
Yep.
Can you make the other wrestle? Can you make Randy Orton look good?
Right.
Can you hang in a Randy Orton promo? Okay. And can you sell the event?
Oh yeah. Yeah. You're absolutely.
So when you wrestle Randy Orton, that's the stick. If the answer is yes, you become a superstar. If the answer is no, you go right back down to the bottom of the line.
And you got to start all over.
Start all over.
And there's only 2, maybe 3 guys in AEW that if you dropped in a ring with Randy Orton and said y'all go at it with no bias from either company, would keep it going. And maybe a half of a 4 because Hangman Page, I give him a lot of guts, so he can do it. But there's something missing.
There's something missing with Hangman, and that is
I don't know what it is yet.
He just got he has a look, and fans are in love with his look.
I think he just needs to change his name and persona.
I like the cowboy persona. Maybe the Hangman thing, I don't know. It's kind of 80-ish, and we're living in a different world. But I just don't think. But he's
James Storm's light.
He's James Storm light.
He's James Storm light. Make something else.
Yeah, he's James Storm light, and he can't.
He can't talk like James Storm either. There's
it is. So I mean, look, Jon Moxley, like he was the bar for a minute, but his bar was.
He's a WWE guy.
He was a WWE guy, but his bar was, if you get in a ring with Jon Moxley, can you hang in that ring? And it was like a no holds type of thing, like can you physically keep up with a person like Jon Moxley? Because he's brilliant in the ring.
He's a Rowdy Piper.
He's a Rowdy Piper.
Yeah,
he was 50. He's a modern age Rowdy Piper.
I don't know if times 50. Rowdy Piper went hard.
Yeah, he went hard. So
he's
a modern Rowdy Piper.
Rowdy Piper, Greg Valentine. He was one of those rough around the edges.
Right, New Japan. You go to New Japan, you become a man.
Well,
you go to New Japan as a boy wrestler.
It wasn't New Japan that did that to him. He was like that before.
I'm saying I'm comparing it to New Japan wrestling. You leave here as a wanderer trying to find himself. Don't know, you lost your identity. You go to New Japan, somehow you just become a different wrestler.
That's if you make it.
If you make it.
That's if you make it.
If you make it.
Right? Just because you go there don't mean you.
That's like just going to the mountains of the Himalayas and come back and now you're Doctor Strange. Right? Okay, so that's New Japan.
Right.
Okay. Jon Moxley's that. When you're bringing in Bryan Danielson, he's going to test people's mettle in the ring. He's the best. He's probably the top of the world when it comes to in-ring performance. You can't get better than him. And then you got CM Punk, who's going to test your ability to sell the matches and drive the matches and sell it. That's why Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder was tough, and Fury had enough of Wilder, and he didn't want to. It's like he's like, dude, you can't sell this. I have to do all the selling. I'm selling this whole event.
But that's because he watches wrestling. But
the thing is, Dante don't have that he's got that off, quirky personality that he did really.
He's like Kobe Bryant.
He's like all antisocial.
He's like Kobe Bryant.
Right. So when you're in the ring with CM Punk, you got to be able to sell the match and sell the story because he's the bar. He's the highest it gets. Him being out 7 years, he comes right back. It's still up there. So if you're Orange Cassidy, you wrestling CM Punk, can you sell that match? Or are you gonna be if you're give me another wrestler.
Any of them. Darby
Allin.
Darby Allin. He didn't sell the match.
He didn't.
CM Punk, it was everyone wanting to see CM Punk wrestle Darby Allin because there was some nostalgia there.
Because WWE has tried us the matches that we wanted for the last decade. So everyone's on that, ooh, I want to see this. Hey, make this person wrestle. But that's going to go away here.
Sting's not going to be there forever.
But that's what I'm saying. That nostalgia of fantasy matches are going to go away. And now we're going to flatten out back to normal. And what are you going to look like as a product AEW when that happens? That's the question. And that's why this is a brilliant move. First, I was against it.
Against what?
All these guys coming over.
Still in.
I'm not 100% because close the door first and foremost. No more coming in. If women's division needs a few more. No more coming in. Did you see that promo? Finally, Britt Baker has someone that she can go toe-to-toe with on a promo. Did you see that promo between Ruby Soho and Britt Baker?
Yeah.
Tell me last time you seen that in AEW.
No, you haven't.
Haven't.
But you knew that was...
Haven't.
But you knew it was going to happen once someone from WWE came over.
Which I'm surprised that... I'm not a major fan of Ruby Soho.
I knew Ruby could do. They do.
High.
She's not that good in the ring.
Come on,
she's got good.
Okay.
She's got good mic skills.
She's got good,
but
mic
she's
skills.
not that good in the ring.
Let's not put her up there with CM Punk. They're giving her CM Punk status. And let's not do that. But I was surprised. Britt Baker will burn you.
Britt's got the chop.
She burned her, and then she burned her back. Then she burned her again. Then she burned her right back. I was like, okay, this is what this division needs. Now, they still building up Swole Wonder Woman, Black Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Okay. Which one?
Oh gosh, brain freeze.
Cargo?
Yeah, Cargo.
Okay.
Yeah. And she will be there, okay? They're giving her pretty much, it's Beth Phoenix meets, who's the wrestler you don't like?
Because Beth Phoenix was the total package.
Beth Phoenix, no, physically. But what's her name? The boss.
What?
The boss, WWE, boss woman.
Sasha Banks?
Sasha Banks. She is Beth Phoenix meets Sasha Banks, okay? All right, so that's the image they're going with her. She's got the body of Beth Phoenix, actually stronger in a way, maybe not, who knows. She's very athletic, insanely athletic. She's a bodybuilder with the Sasha Banks attitude. They're working on her mic skills. Not a lot of these girls got great mic skills. So Tony Khan realizes the only way I'm going to be able to sustain this and compete with the big dog WWE is I got to get my wrestlers able to sustain a story, to be able to sell matches on the microphone. Right? Okay. All right. Where did we go from here? Boy, that was pretty good. That's like educational we just did. I wanted to kind of talk about All In and all this stuff. And
don't
WWE.
need to, because it would down, if you do that, it would downplay the trueness of what's going on between AEW and WWE. I know, because that is what I've been trying to get people to see, is that outside of the fluff that you want, look into the meat and see what's going on. Dig up in there, get your fingers up into that cookie dough and make sure
what is really going
that
on
it's kneaded
hood.
Correctly.
Yeah.
Because if it's not,
right. Because people right now, they so caught up right now. People right now are, and we're going to switch topics. Like, people are caught up right now over dream matches.
There's a mask. Look, I know I sound like the AEW hater of the year. That's not me. You know, stat guy Greg from Cheap Heat is the AEW hater of the year.
He's AEW hater.
He's the AEW hater of the year.
You the AEW
I'm close, but I do like AEW for what they're trying to do. Cody has a special place in my heart because I wanted him to be the American Nightmare.
Why is he coming back so early? Why?
Because he got to.
No, he doesn't.
He has to.
No, he doesn't.
You say he doesn't?
No.
You know why he does?
Let Malachi build that and then just spend about 6 months with your woman and the baby. Just take a break. Cody, you gave us what we needed for now. Okay? You are the sole reason. You and Tony Khan.
Who's gonna wrestle Malachi?
He's only... Listen, Charles.
You ain't got Orange Cassidy because he can't do anything.
Charles,
what?
He's only been here for a month.
Right.
Let him get a 3-month run and build him up some more because here's the thing.
A 3-month run doing what?
But just listen, I'm going to tell you. Because here's the thing. He had people, now you brought other WWE people in, right? So it makes it a little crowded because at the end of the day, I know his new gimmick is pretty cool, by the way.
Oh, okay? It is.
It's pretty good. But we still see him with the other guys in there now. You don't see him on the same level as CM Punk and Bryan Danielson, and not even over Miro, and not even over all these other guys. He's still got to build his stature.
A mouthpiece he isn't now in the ring.
No, mouthpiece is good.
But But you said he's not on their level. No. He's not on their level in the mouthpiece, but in that ring.
No. I'm talking about overall because the thing is he got squashed so hard in the WWE, and that's still fresh in people's mind. Now, what Cody Rhodes did was a blessing by jolting him up there real quick. Now let's build on that. Because pretty much what you can do with Malachi Black is you could turn him into your version of The Undertaker for AEW. Okay, that's the route you can go with.
That's not AEW's format.
You could.
Of course, we've been saying what coulda, woulda, shoulda for ages with every...
I don't see any more coming in. Don't bring any more people over. Keep the ones you have. You brought the right ones. That was smart, Tony. Tony, that was brilliant. You brought the right pieces over to build your guys up. You didn't bring people over to, this is not that he learned from, this is telling me he is paying attention to what happened to WCW. You ain't bringing guys who want a big paycheck to put the spotlight on themselves. You brought Bryan Danielson. You said, I'm going to kick everyone's butt here. I'm not here to mentor anybody. I'm here to kick everyone's tail, which says I'm here to train you how to perform in the ring at the next level. Then you got CM Punk. I'm going to teach you how to tell stories to sell the event and to step up.
Stop for a second, Trey.
And then you bring what?
Just stop what you're saying.
What?
Okay, so what you've been telling me before CM Punk and Daniel Bryan came in there, you said that that's what they were good at. Great ring performances.
All of it.
And storytelling.
All of it.
So what was the purpose of having Bryan Danielson and CM Punk come over?
No, just for that. To help.
To help why? If that's what they're doing correctly.
Oh, no, wait a minute. No, hold on. Listen.
No, I'm asking.
I can answer that question. Just because I learned how to make some cakes as good as my neighbors did, that everyone raves about, doesn't mean I cannot perfect it and make it better, right? Doesn't mean that I can take it to the next level.
But are you willing to accept that criticism?
Oh yeah, because everyone knows. Like I told you, they still light years behind. They're killing butts and storytelling, but that's not about the story. It's not about the booking. It's about connecting it to another level with the fans. They're connecting with the fans. You got fans sitting there holding Bebe signs in the crowd.
Well, they were holding Bebe signs all the time. Right. So it didn't matter. All right. It didn't matter where he went.
All right. So what I'm saying is you have fans.
You wasn't high on him.
Okay, that's cool. What I'm saying, you have fans. You connected to the fans. The fans trust you now. But there's always another level. I can shoot threes. Yeah, I can cross over and do stuff. But can I really control the game the way I need to control the game? It's the difference between Zach LaVine and LeBron James, right? Both small forwards, both got some size, but one can hit threes, he can dunk, he can do all the stuff LeBron can do, but he doesn't know how to control the game like LeBron. He doesn't play the game at another level like LeBron. That's what I'm saying is going from Zach LaVine to LeBron. And you bring these guys, you don't have nobody there that can do that. Moxley can only go so far. Jericho's old, okay? He's over the hill.
What's the difference from Jericho telling you, hey, dude, this is what you need to do to bring it up?
I'm not saying behind the scenes, backstage advice and mentoring. They got plenty of that. Doing it in the ring is a total different thing. Jericho cannot do what CM Punk and Bryan Danielson can do in the ring.
CM Punk can't do anything in the ring. He showed that.
He'll be there in a second. Don't worry about that.
You say that.
Don't worry about that. He'll be there. He's still young enough to show it.
Okay.
All right. So, but Danielson can.
Oh, well, yeah, we know he can. I'm worried.
Who?
About Daniel Bryan, though. Or Bryan, let me stop it. Bryan Danielson in the ring at AEW, because those guys are a little reckless. And he's
and maybe that's why he's there.
And he's a little reckless. He was very adamant to say that the biggest reason he left was because Vince treats him like he's his son, and he worries about him, and he doesn't allow him to do the things he wants.
That's true. So we're making sense of this, because this podcast, I think, is turned into, let's make sense of what's going on between the new, what's going on in wrestling right now. Fans, I know you're happy. You get to see a lot of dream matches. That's awesome. I'm happy about it. Oh, I'm stacked. I'm stoked about it. But let's be real, though. This nostalgia is going to go down a little bit. This high is going to go down at some point. Can we sustain it? That's what you should be asking yourself as an AEW person. New Japan is always going to be New Japan. They ain't going nowhere.
They always
forever.
have been.
Forever.
You know?
No, in the year 2135, New Japan is still going to be New Japan. Okay? So, if the question is, man, we could talk for 2 hours, because we got to talk about the direction of WWE. Man, you know what? Just so we don't, because we're already at the 45, 46 minute mark. We're getting close to an hour. What I'm going to do is we're going to finish this point. I'm going to hit stop. Okay, as people, you know, I am the engineer of the show. Okay,
always cutting me off.
Yeah, I'm cutting him off points. A little bit. Okay, I'm gonna hit stop. Okay, and then I'm gonna start up another podcast. I'm gonna hit record, and then I'm gonna put this up, and then I'm gonna follow another podcast. I'm gonna post up a few days afterwards, maybe 3 or 4. Just let this sink in for a second, and post the next one. Okay, just for you, because I know our attention spans are shorter. I don't like hour and a half, 2 hour podcasts. I know people do it. I don't like it. Okay, I like to break them up. Okay, the next one we got to talk about what's going on in WWE. We have to, because it's been very AEW centric-ish. Yeah, it has in this one. But so this is part 1. Let's go to part 2. That's what I'm doing. We're going to do 2 parts.
Okay, well, let's finish this little bit and then go to part 2.
We'll go to part 2. That's what we're going to do, because we got to talk about the WWE. Because AEW, I like it, but I really don't. But I do, because people like Orange Cassidy, I keep bringing him up, Darby Allin, Hangman Page, all these guys that they've been building up for the last few years. You're going to make or break.
It's a Vinceism.
It's make or break, because now you got the real dudes over.
There's a lot of Vinceisms going on in AEW.
And I don't fault Tony Khan for doing it. You're going to have to sustain it.
I agree, but that was their biggest thing, is we're going to be different than the WWE.
And they are. They still are.
Yeah, blood keeps you out of that. You know,
no, their matches are way.
No.
Oh, okay.
I know what I'm saying. Blood keeps you out of that. You know, they're doing the things that the fans want. They are. Yeah. But sooner or later, you're gonna be seeing the same matches over and over again that you complain about in WWE.
Or here's the thing. I say it like this. That's a good wrap up on you. I like that. And I say sooner or later, the basics of wrestling entertainment is going to kick in.
You mean sports entertainment?
Sports entertainment.
Something they don't want to be.
All right. You are.
I know this. You know this.
You can't run from that. You're sports entertainment.
But people want to be their pro wrestlers. That died a long time ago.
Independent wrestling is not going to move the needle 100%. Problem with WWE is they gotten away too far away from it. Okay? But you can't rely on just that. If your guys are corny and they're botching all the time, someone's going to get hurt. There's going to be some lawsuits, first of all. Number 2 is you got to be able to sell the matches on the microphone. Okay? We want to be in it. The masses want to. Are you not entertained? That's what we want. Okay? If you can't do that, your product's going to start dying a slow death. Okay? That's what happened to TNA. That's what happened to the other version of Impact. Okay? That's why NWA can't get up to the top of the line. RH is kind of just hanging in the weeds. Okay, you got to be able to entertain me and not make me look like you're some corny dude. And then once I got you in my brain, oh, this is corny, then I lost sense of your match. You could have the best match in the world, but you're corny because you guys are corny people. Right? You are sports entertainment. You brought the guys to help it with that.
Like I said,
Orange Cassidy,
the very beginning,
at
the very beginning of the program, I asked you a question.
All right.
Outside of MJF, who can talk you in and out that ring that's not a WWE guy or a guy who ran through WWE? Because I know people like, oh, they didn't come from WWE. They went through WWE and they changed. They became
WWE
different.
Gives you the education. When you go to WWE, you're going to university.
Yeah.
You're going to get educated.
Yeah.
All right. And I don't care, all you WWE haters, I don't care. You go to... Orange Cassidy goes to WWE for 2 years. He might become a C player or B player, but guess what? He comes back to AEW.
I bet you his mic skills will be
an educated wrestler.
So much better.
So much better because you're going to school when you go to
guys
WWE.
who don't get to talk, they need to start letting them talk to see where they're
WWE
at.
To University Cambridge compared to AEW online school. Okay? All right?
I'm just saying, because you got tag teams who don't talk on the microphone, and they're awesome.
God, I didn't get to
They're awesome in the ring.
End this, how awesome, though. One thing AEW don't struggle with, on the microphone or in the ring, is its tag team division. My goodness.
No, they struggle on mic with their tag team. But their tag teams don't need to talk
Their tag teams don't struggle as much.
They don't talk.
Tag teams talk better on the microphone, sell stories way better than the single wrestlers.
They don't talk.
They do too talk.
Okay.
They do talk. Young Bucks are great.
But that's it. On the mic,
great. Young Bucks are great.
Okay, ATR is from where? FTR is from where?
Jurassic Express can sell a match.
They don't talk a match good.
Listen, when we talk, you don't have to talk for minutes. It's
those
just when
guys
you say
need
something.
You know what?
How good is it? Brian Cage is mad because no one uses me. Well, dude, get a personality.
Imagine if it was those two instead of Enzo Amore and the cast that came out of NXT. Could you imagine them two getting that teaching from Dusty Rhodes before?
Man, hey, listen,
Jungle Boy being taught how to.
Right, because Cody Rhodes is there. Cody comes from the Rhodes family.
He does, but Dustin comes from the Rhodes family. He can talk it too, but it ain't transitioning to their wrestlers.
Hey, listen,
you keep saying it will, and you keep telling me it's been the 3-year mark, like you said.
Patience. 3-year mark to challenge, 5 years to be the gun,
moving
to be the man.
The goalpost again.
3 years, you better start challenging, which they are. Exactly what I said it was going to do.
You're moving the goalpost
5 years
again.
to see if you're truly the place to be. Okay, like all business. Now here you go. That's why they have 3-year, 5-year, 10-year plans. Okay, all right. So here's the thing, Lucha Bros.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Thank you.
You don't have to talk about them.
I don't. I'm not going to say a word. Thank you very much, people. You're welcome. Lucha Bros. That's all I got to say. That match, Lucha Bros versus Young Bucks. Man. Tag team, please don't mess with their tag team. Don't bring any tag teams in. Your singles need help. Your tag teams is the best. Matter of fact, you might need to create an alternative tag team belt because, man, they. I'll tell you this.
You know what they should do?
I'll tell you this.
You know what they should do? No. You know what they should do? They don't need to make another belt. Make a show just for their tag team.
Oh my gosh, man! They're the ones actually. To be honest, this is why I said they're the ones who's been holding it down for AEW because you can feel Dynamite with all of these tag team rivalries, and the factions. It was brilliant. I'm kind of a little scared a little bit right now because now I get it. You need to bump up these singles, but then if you push the
singles, you know what happens.
You push the singles over the tag teams.
You know what's good. It has to happen. Your world title needs to be bigger than your tag team title.
1 hour of focus on your tag teams pushing the show and your hour of your singles/women pushing the shows. If you go 75 singles, 25% tag team, you're going to be in a big trouble.
It's the same thing that happened to WWE. Every time the tag teams get big, the singles get small.
But that's because of one man who doesn't like.
Yeah, but even when they did it though, what happened was the single wrestlers fell to the backside because tag team wrestling is exciting if it's done correctly. And then you don't want your world tag team champions to be bigger than your world champion.
Well, not right now, but there will be a point where they are going to. I mean, the Elite is holding it out. No, they ain't. Come on,
man. The Lucha Brothers, man, they can.
Come on.
You separate those two, and they still could viably be the world champion. They could give Kenny Omega the run for their money. That's what I'm saying.
Matches.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Some of the best Kenny Omega matches was against Ray Phoenix or against what's his name? Ray Phoenix and sorry people that happens. I get these blanks that happens. It's just how my brain works. I do, but El Miro Zero Penta. Okay?
Right.
I think he should be future champion.
Oh, most definitely.
Penta says, I love that.
Penta says.
You got to have a luchador heavyweight champion at some point. Right. And you got to have a black champion. Then you're a legit company. Okay? All right. So we're finishing this podcast. Thanks for listening to us. Part 1. We'll go into part 2. We'll talk more about, WWE. You got to figure this out, dude. You're in some serious trouble. You're getting a little desperate. But there's also good things that's happening. So we'll talk about that. What's really going on for the last few weeks. Until next time, thanks for listening. Remember, check us out on your favorite podcast platforms. Turn into grownfolkskidsshows.com to navigate through all the stuff, our news and things that we've been doing. And also go to our YouTube channel for our TV show, which is different than our podcast. All right. Peace out.
Peace out. GPS.